Believe it or not, capitalism is not always the solution to all of our problems, folks. So, this is a quick callback to Biden basically locking down our international patents, which I think is a terrible move in terms of COVID. And this is going up to a vote on February 18th, where I'm saying that we should push back on Biden to actually open up our patents, to dissolve our international patents, specifically surrounding COVID vaccines and COVID treatment like Paxlovid, as all of the wealthy countries are hoarding these resources and they're also preventing other countries from developing their own versions of these products because of these patents. So not only are these lower wealth countries not getting distribution, they can't even develop their own. So they're currently stuck between a rock and a hard place. So the current stance of the World Trade Organization, the WTO, is poised to reject a proposed waiver on intellectual property protection for COVID-19 diagnostics and treatments. So currently people are in favor of protecting the U.S. international patents that prevents these lower income, lower wealth countries from being able to produce their own treatments and testing, which makes these treatments not affordable and not accessible for lower wealth countries. And one of the absolutely wild things about this is that the US has not actually stated their opinion on this. They've had other countries do it for them, where other countries are raising the concern about the negative impact on the US biotech sector. Because if we don't have these international patents to protect our IP, how are we going to make more money? How can we upcharge? We're protecting our investments. While, on the other hand, over 100 countries, particularly those that are struggling to obtain enough vaccines for their populations, support this waiver. And again, these very targeted waivers would allow these other countries to then produce their own vaccines and their own treatments for COVID, building up off of and retooling what currently exists. Where supporters argue that it is necessary to prioritize people's lives over economic interests, which is what we should be doing during a global pandemic. Where the Global Trade Watch director Melinda St. Louis stated that rich countries at the World Trade Organization were swayed by the profiteering interests of big pharma and were negligent in prioritizing public health over intellectual property rights. And some of the countries that are supporters of this include South Africa, India, and other governments and public health organizations. So again, it looks like the United States is on the wrong side of history if they try to protect these international patents for COVID vaccines and treatments, as putting this type of decision in the hands of big pharma could limit the accessibility and affordability of COVID-19 diagnostics and treatments, especially for developing nations.